Okay, I'm going to be tasting my Christmas beer. This is an early taste test. It's not necessarily to taste the flavour, it's to taste whether basically the taste of carbonation is what it is. It's a test rather than a taste test. Is that the way to say it? So, to cut a long story short, I've already explained this before in a video. My beer for this Christmas is called Sober, S-O-B-R. It's Smoked Oaked Bourbon Red. Very clever title, yes, I know. It was in the keg for a lot of condition in the keg, carbonated it in the keg, went to bottle it on that thing there, the iTap, had a complete nightmare, lost, I don't even know, must be a good massive chunk of the batch. I wouldn't say half, but I mean, it feels like half. Total disaster. But I wasn't entirely convinced. There was so much foam that I'm convinced that they're not properly carbonated. So they've been in a box in here. Temperature's kind of up and down, but I bottled a couple of plastic ones. Plastic ones they're not rock hard, but they are pretty solid, which suggests that there is carbonation in there. Now, what will happen obviously is you put it in the fridge and then it'll just die. So the test is this bottle here, which is a glass bottle. Most of them are in glass. We're going to open it and see if I need to put any kind of carbonation drops or anything into it, or are we going to get away with it the way it is, and we can do a little bit of a taste test, see how it's coming on as well. High hopes for this beer. There's no point in me telling you what I think of the beer. Let's just taste the beer and see, and then I'll tell you. Oh, that's not a good start. That's not a good start. There wasn't really much of a hiss. No, there's not much space in the glass to be fair, in the bottle. Okay, here we go. This is not a widgeted glass as well too. Oh my god, it's dead. It's completely flat. Oh no. That's incredibly disappointing. That's incredibly disappointing. There is some movement, some bubbles, but I mean, I don't know whether it's just because I've poured it or what, but it looks, there is a tiny little bit of carbonation still in there, yeah. Okay, so this is this week, basically. I'm doing this video. So I do still have time to recap and put some kind of carbonation drops or something, or a bit of sugar in, and then reseal the bottles. Give them a good shake, let them sit in here. Oh, it's so disappointing. I was really I was thinking with that bottle, you know, being quite hard, I was thinking, oh yes, this is it. I've got away with this, but no. I'm really disappointed here. Okay. Let's plow on ahead. You never know. You never know. I mean, it smells decent. Okay. I'm hoping that this is going to be carb. It's not. It's not, let's be honest. It's definitely changed from the last time I had this. Definitely has. I wanted the kind of smokiness to die off a little bit, which it has done. But in its place is this kind of really, I mean, like really intensely sweet flavour. I think it's finished pretty high up, pretty high gravity. I can't remember. Is it 1020, something like that? Or maybe it's just because it's flat, I don't know. I would really like to taste that fizzy to see what it's like. I don't think that's going to happen now. It's definitely different from the last time. You still are getting that kind of oaky flavour, but I think that real kind of sweet flavour is like the malt. There is something about that Red Axe malt, especially when it finishes high like that. I mean, it's so sweet, it's almost like some kind of Ribena type of, you know how Ribena is like really sweet when you take it in? Something like that. I mean, it doesn't taste like Ribena. And then the flavours start coming through all the other stuff. So it's almost turned around. Whereas before it was kind of the smoke that was coming first. The smoke's kind of coming on the end now, which is what we want. And the kind of malt, that chewy, sweet malt is at the start, which is kind of at the end the last time. So I'm hopeful that that is going to turn into a good beer come Christmas. It still needs a little bit more time. But we obviously need to do something with the carbonation. That was so, I'm so bloody disappointed about that. 6.6% as well too. So you know what do you do? So I'm going to be doing that at some point. I don't think I even have carbonation drops, so I need to try and remember how much you put into 500ml, or they're not even 500ml bottles. I think they're all a combination of stuff, but yeah, so disappointing, very disappointing. So yeah, I had a brew day today, and we made the rest of the Red Axe malt actually. Remade the Patascala IPA, Red Axe IPA, which turned out really fabulous the last time, and I only made a few kind of changes to the recipe. Like I didn't have any mosaic, that was the main change. Didn't have any mosaic and switched it with Simcoe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And I used a bit of Bohemian Pilsner as well, because I didn't have enough Red Axe, just trying to use up a lot of stuff. But yeah, that turned out really good, that beer. It did need an extended conditioning time, which is becoming a habit for me. It's like lots of beers that need conditioning. Speaking of which, we have our Hokum Stomp on still. Had a pint of that last night. It's at near 6 weeks. It's in the keg, and I think it's nearly ready. I think it was okay, but I'm not. I don't think I'm 100% happy with it as yet, but I'm sure another week or two in the keg and it'll sort that out. Got an ASB in there. Again, it's not ready. It's got that really kind of rich. Fucking fly. Why is it that sooner winter comes in, kills all them bastards, the better. Yeah, the ASB needs a bit more time as well. It does have that intensely kind of amber malt type of sweetness to it as well, which is not necessarily my favourite flavour. But there is something else in there which I'm hoping is the Jester hops I used a lot, like 100 grams of Jester hops in there. So hopefully, as the kind of time goes on, we'll see that coming through more. And then I've got like 2 free spaces in the Keyser. 2 kegs of kick this week. In fact, I don't have, because I kegged one. I kicked the West Coast IPA that I've been threatening to make for the last while. I've kegged it today. Tasted a little bit out of the trail, or well, not the trail jar, but a little bit. They always pour off a little bit from the fermenter first into like a pint glass or whatever, and then mostly it's got all the crap on it. Had a wee taste of that, and it's tasting pretty good. It's tasting pretty reassuringly bitter and nice and citrusy. So I think that's going to be a win. Okay, Operation Save Christmas is about to commence. This is what we have. This is the batch. This is how small the batch is. 17 bottles. This is incredibly limited edition. 17 bottles. There is only 2 500ml bottles, which is the 2 plastic ones at the back. The rest of them are all 330 or something like that. Something in around that. Maybe 355. got our capper, we've got our fresh caps and star sand, and we've got our sugar, which is nothing fancy, it's just like granulated stuff. And then I've got these measuring spoons, so that's 1/4 of a teaspoon. That is the smallest one I could get. So I don't know, 1/4 of a teaspoon is like level. I don't know if we're going to put a full quarter in, probably half a quarter. So let's do it. Without any further ado, let's do this and hope it works. Let's do one. See what happens. Little tiny hiss. Get it done quick. You know what I should have brought? Oh, it's foaming, it's foaming! It was foaming there, wow. That was a surprise. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. Okay, let's do number 2. Half a teaspoon, something like that. Put it in. This one's starting to come up on. Hurry up! Whew. Number 2. Oh shit, that doesn't work. Shit. Fucking hell, the flies are all over here. That's why you put spurs on. Sometimes they come out like that. Ooh, and I had spurs ready to go in there. Well done me. Well done me. Right, and then these 2. I think it's just because they're so full, gives the impression that they're carbonated, but they're obviously not. And that was a half decent hiss though. We'll put slightly more than half in this. This. Right, here we go. That's it. Let's have a little taste. That was going to be a good beer, if I haven't ruined it. If I have ruined it, we'll just have to rebrew it. But I really think that could turn out to be a really great beer. But guess we'll have to wait and see what our Christmas has been saved. So on that bombshell, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I'll see you next week.